Ms Roddick.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. With my region being what it is, including Orkney, the Highlands, Islay and Moray, I represent a lot of areas with distilleries, and I've seen many of them at this point trying to engage with the staff and owners. Everyone is so different, but there are some patterns. I recently visited Highland Distillery, which is an excellent example of a key local employer in a rural area. Last year in Raasay, I heard a similar story. This island community has had folk move back to take up jobs in the distillery, even been supported with new housing. We should never have communities reliant on one sector to survive, but often whisky is a great option for young people who want to explore hospitality, marketing or tourism roles. During my tour of Highland Distillery, which incidentally is a nice option for anybody visiting the Highlands and looking for a short respite from the very welcome disruption of ongoing A9 dualling works around Highland and Tamoy, I heard the business's values coming through very strongly. They hire locally and grow their own, and the result is a valuable product with a great story. This is an opportunity for folk in the area to take up well-paid, skilled employment and stay locally. These are the types of success stories that we're seeing thanks to local investment and a focus on quality. Now imagine how much more these communities could thrive without the handbrake of Brexit slowing them down. People across the world love these success stories and they'll pay for them. Our whisky industry must be supported to reap the rewards of its own success that has been built up over decades. According to the Scottish Whisky Association, the current 10% tariff is costing the whisky industry £4 million a week in lost exports. That is a large number, but it's more than just a number. Think about Raasay. How many more homes, even with the extra cost of building in islands, could that fund? In Tomatin, what exciting new venture could they have the time and the space to explore as a business? I don't envy the First Minister his role in engaging with the current US administration. However, I appreciate, as a Highlands and Islands MSP, the value in having a leader who is willing to work hard and engage and do what he can to get a good deal for whisky. However, the reality is that there is no deal with Trump that could undo the damage of Brexit, something that the Tories and Labour are stubbornly ignoring as if it's ancient history rather than a set of extremely damaging daily realities that hammer key industries in this country on a constant basis. I will take an intervention.
Jamie Green.
I agree with some of what the member is saying, but the problem is we're talking about the volatility of geopolitics here. Mr Trump may agree 10% or 5% or 15%, but he might wake up tomorrow and say now it's 50%, and we have to deal with that. Isn't it more important that the Scottish Government doesn't put all its eggs in one basket, therefore?
Emma Roddick.
And that's very much what I'm getting at here. There's no one deal that can undo poor decisions like Brexit. And I would much rather that the decisions around engaging and negotiating deals were held here in Scotland, where we know what our needs are and what our priorities are. And this goes beyond large industries like whisky. I've heard from numerous small businesses who are struggling with red tape and confusion related to post-Brexit realities. That's before we even get to the nonsense that is Labour's national insurance hike, further expense and uncertainty at an already difficult time. Businesses in Scotland deserve better than this, and they deserve a little bit of consideration and reflection from UK Labour. Does the government really believe that Brexit is going well, that the national insurance hike is beneficial and that these tariffs are fair? Or will they follow the First Minister's example and take action to support businesses through this? I will.
Daniel Johnson.
Well, first of all, I believe the Prime Minister spoke to the President a number of months ago when he was first elected, so the First Minister is indeed following his example. But given she has called twice now for national insurance to be reversed, what would she cut, especially given that it led directly to £5.4 billion additional to the Scottish budget?
Emma Roddick.
I would cut the funding for the national insurance hike that the UK Government has had to pay out itself. This is a cyclical issue with the national insurance hike, and we are not seeing benefits from it at all. The stories from Tomatin and Raasay show us what's possible when we invest in our people and our products. The Scottish Government's export plan is helping businesses to thrive despite all of these challenges. But let's be clear, it is not a fair fight. Our businesses are being forced to run a race with a significant weight around their ankles, a weight in the form of Brexit and damaging economic decisions from Westminster. The UK Government must stop ignoring reality. It is time for them to listen to Scottish businesses and Scotland's Parliament, reverse these damaging policies and fully address the continuing impacts of Brexit by rejoining the European Union. Thank you.